This podcast will hopefully contain words or statements of obscene, pornographic, or immoral character. You have been warned. You have been warned. You have been warned.
Shut your raggedy ass up and sit the fuck down.
Huge balls, bloody vaginal belt.
Fuck you, asshole.
This is the first podcast for, what are we? The
Pottycast?
Our first Pottycast.
Potty Mouth Records Pottycast? I don't know. The name may evolve.
But we're here to talk about all things stupid that was Potty Mouth, I guess Fuzzy Bunny, maybe Conformist, and any dumb shit that happened in between here and there.
Yep. Sounds right.
Okay, so Jonathan's idea for this episode is?
Okay, so we're going to discuss the origin of fake band member names because there's so many, and I don't know, I was just like thinking of topics, and this one I thought was a good one because honestly, there's probably lots I don't know when it comes to this. I can say that on my side of things that, I mean, we don't have to go into like the full details right now. I think maybe this is something for a later episode, but just really quick, like you and I have known each other since we've been little kids.
Yeah.
But
like little kids.
Yeah. So, but that's for another day, I think. But what I guess the point being with that is that we didn't really start kind of hanging out till like teenagers, more so when it came to like music and skateboarding. But so I guess I was already sort of doing music on my own before I started kind of getting in with like all you guys. I had already sort of established this thing where, because my aunt who kind of got me into music, she had like Sex Pistols, and she kind of got me into Dead Milkmen a little bit. And I just, at a little kid, I'm talking like this was 10, 11 years old when I was hearing this stuff for the first time. I thought it was fascinating that they're band names. So I was like, well, it's weird. Like you can like be in a band and have like not your real name. Like that was like a new concept to me, you know, because I was like into like Michael Jackson and stuff, and Michael Jackson is Michael Jackson. So I didn't really like think in terms of you can be in a band and sort of like hide your identity.
We all still love Michael Jackson.
Oh,
Even if
yeah.
He's a little creepy.
Yeah.
Or a lot creepy.
Yeah. I mean, that could be another topic as well. But yeah, so anyway, I guess from very early on, I was like, that's cool. If I ever do like a punk band, I want to like not ever be like my real name. So then when I sort of, I guess, started hanging out with you guys more, and now I know in like Aversion days, you guys were using your real names.
Yeah, because that was the cool thing to do.
Because that was the cool thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you guys were more like a serious band. But then, correct me if I'm wrong, but I would say like Lawn Dart was probably the first band where I remember people using like really fucked up fake band names.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I guess for me, when I started jamming with you guys and that you guys were doing that, it sort of was cool, like validation for me that, oh, like other like older, cooler people are doing this too.
Come on now, I'm not that old.
Well,
or not that much older.
No, I know. But when you're in high school, someone who's already out of high school and you're in 10th grade, that's like a lot older.
True. Okay. I'll buy
So anyway, yeah, I guess just getting to the bottom of everybody's fake band member names and like where did that come from? Where, and maybe not even necessarily the origin of the actual names themselves, but when did you first get introduced to that? And
so that's a really good question. I don't know. I think Lawn Dart was such a fucking joke just from the word go.
Uh-huh.
You know, putting Dave at the front of the band was an absolute.
Well, pretty much from that moment on, you knew it's not going to be serious.
Absolutely. And it was just one of those things. Like MC Baby Crusher comes from Phil and I, unemployed, watching Geraldo, I believe. And Louis Farrakhan was on. And he was just, oh my God, he was just pissing me off. And for some reason, I needed a rap name. And so my rap name was MC Baby Crusher.
So, but what is the Baby Crusher? Like, how did that even?
I don't know. Phil was DJ Puppy Ripper. So,
Oh my God, I forgot about DJ Puppy Rip. See, this is why I wanted to do this episode, because I knew this was going to trigger hilarious shit.
Don't fucking ask me where it came from. We have a lot of time on our hands. A lot of time.
But everybody else in the band had a fake name too, though. So do you remember? I mean, I guess Dave was the only one who kind of didn't, because he was
Silly Lip,
oh, that's right. He was Silly Lip.
So I think Skelly came from Phil as well.
Okay.
The Colonel.
Yep, the Colonel.
The Colonel. I think Skelly Lee came from that. And I guess back when Heath was in the band, did he have?
He was, maybe I'm wrong on this, was he Powdered Toast Boy?
Yes. And that was from Ren and Stimpy.
Okay.
So that came from there. And Skelly Lee was from Phil. And then when Ramon came on, Harry Armanson back. Well, that was fucking evident because it fucking looks like a bear.
Yeah, I mean, that name actually had meaning. Like he could introduce himself as that, and you'd be like, oh yeah, now that makes sense.
But you had one, didn't you?
Oh, I had several. That's one of the things that made me think about this, is how absurd it was. And I can say that I would say my main influence for name changing was always Joe Jack Talcum from the Dead Milkmen, because I think there's not really, I have to double check this. I think his name is different on every record.
Oh, that's cool. No, I didn't even realize that.
I mean, there may be one where he I think like once Joe Jack Talcum, he kind of stuck with that for a while, but I know the first few records he was changing it up a little bit. But anyway, he's one of my favorite guitar players, and they're one of my favorite bands. So I always kind of look to them for those types of influences.
Oh yeah.
So I was trying to think this morning of all my names.
Oh Jesus.
And I think the very first time that I utilized a fake name was it was the first Garbage Dog record, which would have been like 10th grade. And my name wasn't even that cool. I was just Spiderweb. I have no idea why it was, you know what? And now that I think about it,
God,
we recorded that record. So this is something you may not know. The very, very first Garbage Dog record was recorded. That was the first musical anything that was done in the shed.
Oh.
So that's sort of historic in that sense.
That's crazy. Yeah. The shed's gone too, isn't it?
No, it's still there.
Oh, is it? Oh shit.
That's the one they actually they wanted to tear it down. And then Joel wanted to start using it for just like storing some stuff in. And what's hilarious is, this is a completely sidebar, but wait. Yeah.
So the shed, for everybody who doesn't know, was the home of Bomb Threat, Garbage Dog Pryor, lots of shit. So just to keep everybody on board with what you're talking about.
Yeah. So that's the main practice room for like everything we did except for like Gabe's,
which was at your grandmother's house, which is right behind my grandmother's house, which makes it all so ugly.
Yeah, it does. We'll get there. But so when we were jamming in there, this was not only the first thing with that, like playing music in that shed. That was like the very, like within the first few months of like Dave and I's relationship, like starting out, like when we first met in high school. And he played in the school band, and he didn't really know how to play drums, but he was like I'll try to play drums because I had a drum kit. So he actually was pretty good at drums, like right out of the gate. So we just started jamming, but in the point being in the shed at the time, it still had like all the farm equipment in there. So we like had equipment set up around like these old dirty shelves and like old like farm tools and stuff. So That was kind of funny. That was before it was insulated or anything. And you remember how cold that shit was in there, even without insulation, or when it had brutal. Insulation. Yeah.
It was brutal. It was a fucking cinder block shed, and it held in the cold too.
Yeah, it wasn't great. But it was free electricity. So there you go. But anyway, so yeah, Spiderweb was my first fake band name on that release. And then I think there was maybe 2 other little high school projects that happened in between there where I don't recall what I was using as a name. But then fast forward to Lawn Dart. I honestly don't ever remember even having, like, I never established my fake name in Lawn Dart that I can recall. Unless maybe Tommy Woo.
Oh, I think Tommy Woo was after that shit.
Yeah.
The fucking Tommy Woo was awesome. Do you remember your steak eating championship slippers?
I did not remember that till you just mentioned it. So yeah, that's fucking funny.
We went away on, I guess, like a weekend getaway with a bunch of friends, and Jonathan and this other guy had a steak eating whatever contest, and the guy was no contest for Jonathan. So he went out to the fucking dollar store and bought these ugly ass slippers and market them all up so he could rub it in the guy's face. It was fucking classic.
Damn. Yeah. I wish there was a picture of those. I totally forgot about that. Yeah. See, this is why, if no one even ever listens to this is just great for us remembering funny shit.
Oh my God. Stupid shit.
But yeah, so I guess, God, there's so many little things that lead into that. But then, like, in the Bomb Threat days, my first, well, not too many people know about the first Bomb Threat release, the Spasmatrons from Space, with Andy on vocals. But so I'm pretty sure my fake band name, and that was sort of like not a fake band name. I think it was Johnny Bob Joe Nathan at the time.
See, I think that might have been the Lawn Dart one too. Like that
maybe
sounds
so,
right.
because Gabe started that, if I'm not mistaken. Because he always called me Joe Nathan, even like later in life. Like, it's very rare for him to ever call me anything but Joe Nathan. So I think that may have came from him. So anyway, that was my first name in Bomb Threat. And then second name in Bomb Threat, Xavier Lewis Reginald III, which was on the Crazy Wax Stupo. And I have zero fucking clue where I came up with that shit, because that's fucking stupid. So I have no idea. The only thing I could even think of is that I remember as a little kid, my cousin played with Cabbage Patch Kids. And for some reason, it always stuck with me that the creator of Cabbage Patch Kids was Xavier.
Right.
If I'm not mistaken on that as well. And I don't know, that name just always kind of stuck in my head. And I was big into Garbage Pail Kids. So I'm thinking maybe that's where that part of it came from. But I honestly don't know the Lewis Reginald III. I think honestly that was probably just another like stealing from the Dead Milkman thing. Like,
right,
what's the most absurd, long, weird name? And like Reginald, I thought because we used to talk in practice about names that were like fancy pants names. So like Reginald was maybe like, I thought I was proper. Like Reginald III sounded like a rich person name. So stupid. Like, who cares? Like, dumb. And then, I had another fake name. Oh yeah, you know what? I don't remember exactly which release this was on. I'd have to look. But Jebediah Herman Shitfish, the Rock and Roll Ninja. Or maybe it was Xavier Lewis Reginald III, the Rock and Roll Ninja, and Jebediah Herman Shitfish.
Oh my God. I can't tell you that I remember that one. That one's fucking beautiful.
Yeah. So anyway, that Jebediah Herman Shitfish, I always liked that one. But then the classic of all classic, that was the one that stuck, Evil Handjob.
Fucking magic.
Yeah, magic. So you probably know this, like the origin of Evil Handjob, but maybe don't remember the story.
Fuck no, I don't remember.
Okay. Well.
Oh, I think I do. Go ahead, fire away.
Well, yeah. So this is one of those stories where
No name should be used.
no name should be used to protect the innocent, although they weren't innocent. And this shit was hilarious at the time, and like looking back on it, it's actually like kind of a bummer a little bit, just because, you know, thinking back, like, oh man, that was actually kind of a fucked up thing that he did and whatever. But anyway, so again, not naming names, but if you're from Hagerstown area, you're probably going to put two and two together and figure this out. But there was a gentleman who was a good bit older than all of us who used to walk around Hagerstown, and he used to come to all the shows, and he had a notebook, like a spiral bound, like school style notebook. And his whole thing was he would come up with like band names, and he would write them down in this notebook. And we were friends with this guy. Like
absolutely.
He was kind of one of those dudes that he
was at everything. He was
at everything. Like that dude was probably the most legit scene member guy of like anybody. He walked everywhere, was at all the shows. He was very knowledgeable about music, and I think he honestly, there was a part of him that sort of liked when people would fuck with him a little bit. It's like he didn't get mad about it. He would sort of like laugh and like join along. But anyway, he had this notebook, and I remember he was at a show one time, and a certain member of my band, again, I will not use their name, but most people can probably figure this one out as well. He was the biggest asshole in our band. Now you pretty much fucking can figure this out. So he's like, hey man, let me see that notebook. And I remember they're like looking through it, and we were just like dying. There was just like so much funny shit in this notebook. And like a lot of it was really funny, really creative. And I was just like, dude, like this is cooler shit than I could have ever fucking came up with. But I remember on his one page, the name he had for an actual band name was Evil Handjob.
Fucking love it.
And I was like, God damn it, that is fucking hilarious. Like imagine having that as a band name. Like you're not going anywhere with that band name. You're like, no one's booking you. Like you're playing like house parties forever. So anyway, I was like, that is great. God. So yeah, I adopted that as my actual fake band member name moving forward, because I was like, this is too good to let go to waste in this notebook forever.
And you don't have that problem about getting shows because it's just your alias.
Yeah, I'm just a asshole in the band. I'm not like, it's not the actual band name.
Yeah, because that carried over to fucking Craven Moorheads, where I think you were outdone when you gave Fred Supercalifrisky Guy. That was magic.
I don't think I came up with that.
Or did he come up with it?
I would not have been that clever.
Oh my God.
I don't think so. But yeah,
I think you did.
Maybe, like I said, this is stuff that we will have to have guests on eventually to confirm or deny certain things, because my memory's pretty good with all this stuff, but some things I'm like, what? Like steak eating slippers, no recollection of that.
Fuck yeah, dude. Those were brilliant. It was awesome.
So I guess really that would be, I guess, the origin of all my shit. But then you had other names too. You were Super Saver. You had some other shit.
Well, because I think I don't think MC Baby Crusher, which is stuck forever. Like it's my PlayStation handle. It's like I still use it to this day, which is absolutely absurd, but nobody else has it. So,
so another name just popped in my head. Can't remember if this is my name or someone else's name. Someone was Slim Pickens.
Was that no? I was gonna say, was that Gabe?
Yeah, I feel like that was
like the second Lawn Dart tape.
If I would have been really good about doing my homework for this, I would have got out all the liner notes.
Well, I can fucking look at that because I actually have it open because I used it to pull. Oh, of course.
Somebody was definitely Slim Pickens, and that could have even maybe been Matt Powell, possibly.
No. Could. Oh fuck! I don't know where. I just closed it for some dumbass reason.
Yeah, I'll be more prepared next time. I was thinking I need to get out my official potty mouth scrapbook so I can access this stuff.
So
but yeah.
Because it would have been on the Clevenger liner notes.
Oh yeah, well you can, if you're not already doing it, that those covers are scanned on the Bandcamp, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I don't fucking remember that part. Did I do this one?
Yeah, you drew all those covers, I thought.
That shit doesn't look familiar.
Are you looking at the green one?
Yeah, I thought.
Well, see, that's interesting because I think this is something I recently discovered as well. I think that there's actually two different versions of the Clevenger cover.
Yeah, I think there is. And I don't think I did this one. This would have been after I left. Because none of this, for lack of better, not sound like it just doesn't look like something I'd do. Like the collage, yes, because fuck, who wants to draw all that dumb shit? But like the imagery, it's not. So
you're saying that like you were on that release, but then you left, and then
they re-released it.
They did like a repress.
I think so, because like I said, is that.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's something that we'll have to confirm then, because I definitely have multiple covers of that release, and I don't know the chronological order of those.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what the first one looked like. I think the first one was like this gold orange, done on gold orange, because everything was done on below a shoestring budget, because who the fuck had money for this shit?
Yeah.
And so everything we either ran at like somebody's office, parents' office, if we could sneak in, or whatever, and run covers off, and then Mike Zokel, like produced and sealed and everything for us.
Yeah, because my actual actual copy of Clevenger is the yellow one that you're describing, and then that green one, you know what? I don't even remember where I acquired that, because that would have been maybe from Gabe, or that could have been something you gave to me when you gave me that box of stuff.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was surprised by that, because I didn't recall ever seeing that before.
Yeah. It's all, I didn't even look at it when I downloaded it. Yes, I had to download my own music because I'm a fucking moron.
Okay, well, so then were you only MC Baby Crusher and Super Saver? Were those?
I think that was it. Names? Yeah, I think that was the only two. Like, I don't think we went. I mean, I adore MC Baby Crusher. I think it's fucking bee's knees.
Yeah. But well, maybe we can do I don't even know the word. I guess like a compendium issue to this one to nice. Like confirm. Maybe that's not the right word, but to confirm the.
Yeah. Whatever.
Addendum.
Nobody gives a fuck. Yeah. Or better yet, when we post it, they can write in the comments. I think on Podbean, you can comment in it, or you can set it up and we can just comment on the Potty Mouth Records Instagram page. And if you guys fucking know, let us know.
God, I hope no one knows this stuff, because that'll hurt my feelings.
So okay. Do you know the alternate name for Lawn Dart? It was down to 2. Do you know what the other one was?
Oh shit! Trivia round.
Ooh.
Fuck.
Ooh.
I could sit here and pretend like I'm thinking about what that might be, but I feel like I do remember there was another choice, but I don't remember what it was.
It was Toss Across. Like the little game back in, I guess, the 70s, where it was a tic-tac-toe and you throw the fucking beanbags at it.
Yeah, totally.
So that was the between the two, but we went with the Lawn Dart because it was more dangerous, I believe.
Yeah. Well, you probably remember this as well, but my cousin was actually hit in the head with the Lawn Dart as a little kid.
No, I don't remember
Yeah.
that.
So
Oh shit.
it's my grandmother's sister's granddaughter. And there was a family reunion picnic somewhere. And I was actually supposed to go to this, I think. And for whatever reason, I didn't end up going. And this girl, my cousin, we're the exact same age. And yeah, at this family reunion picnic thing, she was hitting the head with the lawn dart. And it actually, she still to this day, I think, has like some type of like,
I would imagine a fucking divot in her head.
yeah, well, I think she had like, they were like really totally freaked out. Like she was going to be super paralyzed, I think, or something. And then I think she might still, her whole life, she had like some kind of paralysis in her arm or hand or something like that.
Holy shit. Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So anyway, that I always,
not laughing at you, just laughing at the coincidence.
no, absolutely. I mean, it's just kind of crazy. Like how many people, because you always hear about that shit, like lawn darts are banned because of like kids getting hit in the head and shit at like fucking parties. And I actually know someone that happened to. So that's so kind of crazy. Up. And I definitely remember always kind of in the back of my mind thinking about that when I was in the band. That like, damn, like that's some like actual legitimacy for me to like be in this band. Cause like I know
you earned it. The rest of us are just fucking leeches.
So anyway, but yeah, there's so many other fake band names. Like
what was Dr. Fuck was for Bomb Threat. What was everybody else's?
Dave was
like Devious Dave.
He was Devious Dave, and then that kind of morphed into Colonel Peckerwood,
which is magic.
Matt was like Jet Presley. I forget his name in Lawn Dart.
I think it was Jet. I think he stayed with Jet pretty much. That was his shit. I don't know what the fuck it means. I don't know the importance of it. I
don't know. I might disagree on that one.
Oh.
I think he was something else in Lawn Dart.
I don't know because you put the wrong fucking cover up on the line, so I can't tell.
Hey man, doing the best I can over here. Yeah, but so those were those guys. Clevenger was Cleven. Oh, see, I totally forgot about Vomit Snack names.
Oh.
So Clevenger, his wasn't too creative. His was Cleven Jerk.
Well,
we were already kind of calling that anyway. My Vomit Snack name was King Puke. Gene obviously was Lord Destroyer, which is he's kind of like you in that respect. That's sort of like his MC Baby Crusher. Because that's everything for him. That's like his email, his Instagram. He's probably using it other places as well.
Yeah, I think Gavin even referenced like him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as Lord Destroyer. I'm like, oh my God, I knew you were talking about.
And Gabe was Slade, or wait, no. So I guess I actually had two names in that band. I think my first name was Slade Necros. And then I was King Puke. Gabe was Ookla the Mock.
Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. From
Thundar,
yeah.
Yeah, fucking love that.
So yeah, so I guess going sort of further back though, do you remember any conversations with the guys in Lawn Dart about, like, was there an actual like meeting where you talked about your names, or was that just like an organic thing?
It was totally organic. Like it was definitely just, what's your name going to be for the fucking tape?
Like you're doing the layout.
Yeah. It's like, who are you?
Yeah.
And it was as simple as that. So yeah, there wasn't like a sit down. I mean, we probably bullshitted over them.
Yeah. Well, I guess go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, because I don't even remember fucking Dave's. But then he ended up being Dave Dart, and that's stuck with him for fucking ever.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Like, there's people in Baltimore, that's how they know him. I mean, what I believe.
Well, I guess like going back even further, then do you have any recollection of some of the first bands you heard that were doing like fake band member names, and like was there anything that had influence on you?
No, I don't know if I did. I guess we had to see it somewhere. I can't honestly remember. Like Keith Morris was Johnny Bob Goldstein.
Oh yes,
you know.
Well, like Tesco V was a big one.
Yeah.
I definitely remember thinking like when I got the first Meatmen record, just being like Tesco V, like that can't be that guy's real name. But I was like, it kind of sounds like maybe it could be, but what does it mean? And like, so that one always kind of.
You can tell me what it means because I still don't know what the fuck it means.
Yeah, well, I mean, from what I know, is Tesco is like it's a grocery store chain. Or like it's like some type of store from the 60s and 70s. It was like a grocery store pre-Target thing, maybe, or something.
Oh, really? Like a department, like a Two Guys.
Maybe. I'd have to double check that, but V just comes from his real last name.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I just got patches from him in the last fall or winter.
Yeah.
Like some Meatman shit. They're pretty
cool.
fucking cool.
Hell yeah. Right on. So I guess for you didn't really have any.
Fuck no. I'm trying to think. I mean, but everybody's done it because like stupid Alice Cooper, not stupid Alice Cooper. I like Alice Cooper, but like everybody's kind of adopted. I don't know. I think it's part of like the escapism of the band. To me, to be that alter ego because my normal self couldn't fucking get in front of people and do it. But MC Baby Crusher, he can do shit.
Yeah, I mean, damn. I honestly didn't even think of taking it down that road, but I guess there is a lot to that to unpack, even maybe just thinking about what you just said. Because, the alter ego thing is a big part of it. Like I can be a way more of an energetic prick on stage if I'm Evil Handjob.
So honestly, if you think about it, because if like I think about like Aversion and didn't drink, and it was like really not that it was hard to get up for it, but it's still like to get over that hump to go forward. I have like horrible anxiety, like dreadful anxiety issues. So to do that, it like I still to this day have a hard time believing I did it without getting drunk. So once we started drinking and lawn dart, like it was easier to fall into an alias. Fucking Craven Moorheads was awesome because we wore costume and we got drunk. So it was fucking all the bases were covered and you could just go out and be a total complete dick. And it didn't matter.
Yeah. It's the fake band name it's the first level of the shield of the anxiety shield.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
Fucking totally.
You have the name, then you have the costume. It's just, it's like you're everything you attach to yourself that's not really you is giving you permission to take it up a step further with your like antics.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I totally fucking agree with that.
That's
like,
funny.
Yeah, it just lets it, you know what? It's like, not that you're not accountable, but all of a sudden you're not because that's not me.
Yeah, that's not me.
And like, it's hard. Like, so this is fucked up. And I think I was trying to think why we would have ever changed the name of, we're all over the place, but why we changed the name from Craven Moorheads to Doesn't Matter, because there wasn't a real lineup change. There wasn't anything. And I honestly think I might have pushed because as me, I can't, when somebody asks me the name of my band, I can't fucking say it. I totally, like, if I see another person and they're like, oh, your band's getting back together to do a reunion, what's their name? I'm like, don't worry about it. Because it is fucking no, I can't do it. And I think that's why part of the name we just swapped over. Because like I'm like,
that's funny because I remember, I definitely remember the name change, and I wasn't totally sold on the name change, but I wasn't like overly like opposed to it either. But it's funny because we like differ so much when it comes to that, because I'm like, I don't give a shit. Like if I'm like, hey, people were like, oh, like I heard your band's going to play some shows later this year. And what was your old band called? I was like, Craven Moorheads. Like, I don't care. I'm like,
Yeah,
I just look at them. Like, I want to see their reaction. Like Craven Moorheads.
Yeah, it's weird. It's fucking weird. Like, I don't know. I guess because I'm old and have kids and they're old, it's still fucking weird.
You have a different perspective for sure. Like I don't have kids, so maybe I'm still pretty much act like a fucking man child myself. So that's probably a part of why the class clown element is still pretty strong in my personality, probably. So I don't care about that to like tell people stuff.
Yeah, I think that was what it's like. I have issues. Like I couldn't like go to that, like, and say what our band name was. Cause it was just fucking, I couldn't do it. It was just like,
well, and Doesn't Matter was cool. That was a cool name too, because you can play that whole like who's on first thing with that. Cause what's the name of your band? Does it matter?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, no, dude, what's the name of your band? So there you go.
I thought it was perfect. And I think my argument behind it was because we played fucking shows and nobody gave a shit who we were.
Yeah.
And nobody gave a fuck. And we just showed up and acted like assholes. Like, I swear to God, somebody referenced us as, were you that band that had the guy who sang falsetto in some of it, like a metal band? And I'm like, yeah, that was us. That would be the Blood Fart.
Yeah.
So get on your, what is it, on Bandcamp, hunt it down. Is that on?
Yeah, that's on there.
Is it? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So we are planning to play as Craven Moorheads, as I look away and don't look at anybody, as Craven Moorheads sometime the summer of 2022, late summer, if we ever get to fucking practice again.
Yeah. So we've practiced twice, and
one was really good, and one blew nuts.
Yeah. I think for as long as it's been since we jammed, I mean, it went pretty smoothly, I thought. And yeah, I mean, I think as long as we get a few more in before the show, it's going to be fine. And
we're looking multiple shows, which is even dumber as shit.
Because
we never played that many shows, like back to back to back. And if we can get everything lined up and everybody can get to them, I mean, we're looking at possibly 2 to 3, which is bizarre for us.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's funny. I want to actually go back a little bit because I was just thinking, I wasn't really expecting this, but I think this episode has given me somewhat of a revelation in a way that I honestly have, like, I don't think I've ever thought about this before, but with the whole like name thing of it being sort of like a shield for like the alter ego thing. And what's interesting is I can't ever recall thinking of it in that way. It's almost like it always felt so natural to create the alias and like become that alias for me that I never even saw it as like I was doing it as like an anxiety protection thing. It was just more of a being able to be a different character, but it never felt like, I mean, obviously I was conscious I was creating this alias, but it's like I never like slipping into that alias to play a show or something it was not like a psyching myself up thing. It was just like, it was always, I guess the point is maybe I'm more like my aliases than I ever realized I was.
I totally agree. And I think when I was younger, I would have never saw it that way, but looking back on it and knowing myself better, I guess, as a person, it's totally, it was a mask. I mean, just a total facade you could put up and become this alter ego. Am I more like my alter egos? Ooh, that's a good question. Probably. No, I'm a prude, which makes it fucking awesome.
Yeah. No,
I'm such a fucking prude. And
I think so. I think I am too, in a way. Like, I mean, I would say I'm like a perverted prude. Is how I would describe myself.
Yeah.
If that's even possible. I don't know.
But I used to get shit from people. They're like, you sing about all this stuff? I'm like, yeah, that's not me. I was like, I can write about it, but that's not me. It's not what I don't give a fuck about that shit.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's something that could be definitely a whole separate episode as well. But I mean, definitely want to get into like your lyrical style. I mean, and whatever.
Fred needs to sit in on that episode.
Yeah, I think so. Like, well, both of you guys, but I mean, and whatever. I know there's going to be a lot of like stroking egos in this podcast, I'm sure, but it really, in all seriousness, I don't know anyone personally or bands that I listen to. You really do have a very unique approach to writing lyrics, and the way I guess basically you have some of the most genius lyrics I've ever heard.
I was only trying to keep up with Dave. That is honestly, I mean, it wasn't to top him, but to keep the content to me at the same level as the Bomb Threat stuff. Because there's fucking shit in there I think is goddamn brilliant.
Yeah, well, of course, you know where I'm going to take this. I mean,
I know where you're going to take it, but
so no one probably knows this about me, but I'm of the opinion that Craven Moorheads was a way better band than Bomb Threat, and we never got the appreciation we deserved. Not hating on Bomb Threat, I love that band, and we did a lot of really cool stuff, but I think the overall vibe and lyrical content, not that Dave's lyrics weren't great.
They are fucking
Dave had
great.
a lot of really classic lyrics, but when I think of classic lyrics of bands I've been in, it's always what you wrote. It's always the stuff you wrote. Definitely.
Fuck no.
Yeah. I mean, dude, it's just like, there's so much, but, I'd rather do that on another episode.
We can argue at another episode.
Go line by line on some shit, because when I started, well, I mean, I'm probably like the one person in the band who's actually over the years sort of kept up with remembering riffs and stuff like that. And I can't say that. Maybe Fred has to. Maybe Aaron has. I don't know.
I don't know. I know.
But anyway, when I started like relearning the songs, when we said we were going to do these shows, I've picked them up pretty fast, but I hadn't listened to them in a little while. So hearing some of the lyrics again was just ridiculous. I was like, oh my God, I guess I got like really excited about that we were going to do these shows. So I was like, dude, like people need to hear these lyrics again.
Oh, now that they're completely non-kosher, and most of them are fine.
Yeah, no.
A couple of them are a little.
Well, yeah, like I think the first inclination that there needed to be lyrical updates was when I sent you that text about like Caitlyn Jenner chucking the discus.
Oh my God.
So we have one of our songs, the line is like Bruce Jenner chucking the discus. And I sent Curtis a text that we needed to update that lyric for 2022.
Fuck it. It's just crazy. I think, and that was part of the change too, from Craven Moorheads to Doesn't Matter, was like the lyric in our style was changing, because like Camel Toe was definitely, which is fucking magical. And that's one of my favorites. Not as good as Secret Seven or Jingy Jangy, but like that shit is fucking awesome. It was like we had started moving, because we were I listened to it, and like we were very porno based, and there was a reason.
Yeah,
we were porno based.
That's a good way to describe it. The first iteration of the band was definitely more super vulgar porno based, and then it evolved more into still ridiculous, but like serious funny. Yeah.
Because I didn't have. I mean, because you and Dave, I don't know how much Dave wrote and how much you wrote of the lyrics for the original couple songs.
Well, I would say we should probably clarify that when you say
not
Dave, now
Dave.
you're talking about Dave Motes, not Dave.
Yeah.
Colonel Peckerwood.
Yeah, not Colonel Peckerwood. That's funny.
Original singer of Craven Moorheads.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something I'd have to look into. I don't remember. Like, I know the songs for sure that I wrote music and lyrics for on the first one. So just based on that, I could break down what Dave wrote. But yeah, I mean, funny that probably some of the like more vulgar, disgusting songs on that release are the ones that I wrote.
That's nice.
Yeah, like I think not a song I'd ever really care to play ever again, just because it's kind of long and sort of weird, but musically, but lyrically, I always thought it was some of the best like disgusting porno style lyrics I ever wrote. But was Little Oral Annie.
Or Annie.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, I guess my prudeness did slowly slide in, where I was like, and not to say anything was wrong. I was the video store purchaser of porn for a couple years.
That's
so
right.
I was all in. It was definitely, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird singing. I don't know. Well, you write all your own shit now anyway, but it's weird. We'll have to ask, I don't know, other singer, how hard it is for you to get in the vibe of somebody else's song if they wrote the lyrics for you. Like, I don't know how people do it. For me, those are the hardest songs to learn and the hardest ones to remember because it doesn't come out of my head. So the lyric combinations or wordings different than I would like it, or I just wonder.
That's for when I'm picking out covers to do, like maybe not even ones I'm going to record, but just ones to have in my bag to just practice or just whatever, like doing acoustic guitar songs or whatnot. Anytime I do a cover, it always has to be something that the original really has to, like, it sounds like dumb to say this from like a punk rock mindset, but just, I really have to like feel it emotionally in some way. Like I have to connect with it. And then I also have to like really believe that my version of it will A, do it justice, and B, it's almost like it is my song.
Right.
Like when I play it, it's like, it sounds like something I could have wrote. If it doesn't meet that criteria, then it's not a song I can even fuck with.
Right. So now we're going to jump back. The fucking cover we did of You Bet That I Got Something Personal Against You.
Yeah.
Is fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's great.
It is a fucking great cover. Like, it's fucking awesome.
That's funny you bring that up too, because I was listening to that back when I was like relearning songs, and it's funny because that song is like a perfect example of how a recording can like make or break what a band sounds like so much, because to me, that song was done in the exact same session as when all those other songs were recorded. But that song really sticks out as it sounds different somehow. I don't know what it is, something about the energy of how we played it, or I don't know. But that song just, if everything else would have came out like how that one came out.
Oh, fuck yeah.
It would have been like even better.
Yeah, because I actually went back and listened to it, and I like the CD. I'm still trying to figure out how Frank couldn't get the Ass Fuck Twins to come in stereo at the beginning of
Ass Fuck Twins. Right on. Yeah. Prepare to meet your doom. That's right.
Like I honestly had a sit down thought about this just a couple days ago. Like, how can you not? And I'm like, he just never switched it from mono to fucking stereo. And I was like, I think that's what it is. But we recorded it in a weekend at Matt's house, and we had the Orgasmo, I guess, cassette. I guess it was VHS tape.
You would have dealt with all that at that time.
And we were just trying to get a sample off of it, but we could never get the fucking sample to come in stereo. So I think he either brought it on like a left channel and then just made it mono, so it played on both. But we wasted so much fucking time. Actually, if you remember right, we wasted a lot of fucking time because I think it was the first time he had brought that rig on the road. And so we spent like half a day Saturday And then we had to argue trying to get his computer up and running and get everything working accordingly. And then we sat and argued with him at the end of the recording because I didn't want to fucking pay for 4 hours of him lining up working, getting on his computer and making it work. I'm like, why am I paying you for that?
Yeah.
It was funny though.
Yeah, I definitely remember that session. That session may even have been the catalyst for us seeing that we could like start recording ourselves.
Yeah, probably.
Because I think kind of soon after that is when like Matt and I started buying recording gear. I mean, we didn't know what the fuck we were doing with it, but which is evident by some of the recordings we were doing at the time. But I mean, for like basically, I don't know, we spent maybe like $1,200 at that time on gear, and we made a lot of recordings that would have been a lot more than $1,200.
Fuck yeah. I mean, and Soka was awesome. So prior to us getting into the digital age, there was a guy in Hagerstown that would come to where you practice with a 8-track, right? Yeah, 8-track, mic it all up. And then he's the one that did the Lawn Dart tape. He did the Pank tape, I believe. Did he record you guys?
He didn't record us, but he was the guy who made the Crazy Wax Stupo demo tapes.
Okay. Yeah, he made that. Where did you guys record Crazy Wax Stupo?
With Ed Reed up at that old white building in like Waynesboro or Greencastle. I forget which one. But yeah, did you ever go to that place?
No.
It was like that big, huge white abandoned. It wasn't a church. It was some type of, I don't know. It was like some type of business or like maybe even like an old folks home kind of place or something at some point. It was this big old white building in like Wayne on the state line. And he had and it was fucking cold in that place. There was no heat, and he rented out the top floor of this building. It was cool. There was like the ceilings were like 16 feet high. It's like this big open room, and he had it all like padded out and stuff. It was actually really nice, but we recorded Crazy Wax Stupo there, and the Natural Born Pervert 7-inch we recorded there too. That recording didn't turn out so great, and it was like the same setup. So I think that something got fucked up in the mastering before it went to the pressing plant. But anyway, yeah,
it's a whole nother story because of like how, I don't know, how we evolved, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah, so I was thinking how everything came together with like how all the bands and members sort of morphed into everything, all the different formations. That's going to be a long one if we do it all in one episode.
Oh, we can do a 2-parter.
Yeah. That might even need to be more than a 2-parter. I don't know. Because that can go back pretty far. I mean, even just on my end, there's stuff that I can talk about before we even like get to like me being in Lawn Dart. There's just like a lot of my like sort of high school things I did with different people that weren't like real bands, but just jamming and stuff.
Do you remember when I did my Broken Lemon tape? It was me, an effects processor, Heath's drums, and just recording into a mic. But I was making fun of, I guess, Rip Clit. It was all like these blast beats and shit. It was, oh my God, it was so stupid. I wish I could find it. It was magical.
I don't know anything about that at all. I don't.
It was called Broken Lemon.
Broken Lemon. So what was that all about?
I don't know, because I guess
I thought you liked RC.
No, I couldn't get. I couldn't. I don't know. I never got into it. Like I that whole style has never hit me. I don't.
Yeah, you never were like a death metal guy, huh?
No, it sucks. But I mean, I think I missed out on a lot of cool bands, but I can't get into that. I mean, I loved Madman. He was awesome, but it was just I could never fucking. I just didn't get it. I don't know. I'm lame.
Yeah, I mean, I dug those guys, but I wouldn't say I was. Like,
they were no kiddie porn.
Oh hell no! Now that's See,
That's a
funny.
separate episode.
That's a separate episode, but not only that, that is a band that I sort of feel sorry for in a way, because the way things are now, it's like they can't even like put their shit on the internet for like people to listen to. It's like it's
I
too
don't want to
scary.
upload it into my computer.
No, fuck no. It's like I have all that stuff. So I actually have a demo, like a legit demo of it, but then I have all the digital files on a backup hard drive. I'm like, yeah, it's like I'm never going to let that shit ever touch the internet, because it's like you just can't risk it. I mean, it's just a band name, but like who fucking knows?
Yeah, exactly. It's so fucked up.
You're on some fucking like watch list as soon as you fucking put that on YouTube or something. But anyway, that is one of the greatest releases of all time.
Fuck. And you know what was sad is I think I like the second one more, the second release, just because I had heard the first one so many fucking times and loved it to death.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, the second one was just it was good, but it was just kind of a release, and I had something different to listen to by them that was just as good to me.
Gotcha.
It was like one of those rare times, at least to me, where the second record is just as good as the first. Even if it's a shade less awesome, it was still great to the point where I didn't mind listening to either one.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense?
No, it totally makes sense. And it's funny because my first time hearing them was through Ramon, and I was like, I couldn't believe that was something from like that was local. I was like, this is like legit, and I can't believe anybody was making shit that sounds this cool. And where we're from.
Fucking Fatal Force was that way. When the first time I saw them practice, blown away. I was holy fuck.
Yeah, definitely. But so I remember Ramon brought the two KP tapes over to my house. And it's when I had first, this was like in the like mid 90s, and I was like, you and I were probably the first people anybody knew that had like home computers, I bet. Like I was definitely the first person in all of my family and friends that I can recall that had a computer.
Yeah.
And one of the first things I wanted to figure out was how to like rip cassettes into the computer. And I figured out how to do it. And I remember Ramon bringing tapes over, those two tapes, and I ripped them into the computer to make digital files. And I had a CD burner. This was like 95. So this was like pretty early on. And I remember burning those songs as WAV files to the CD. They weren't actually playable. It was, I think the burner was only able to work as like basically like a backup drive essentially at that point. I didn't have the software to actually like burn it to audio.
That's so
anyway,
crazy.
I had these files, but I never actually categorized them to which songs were from which release. So anytime since then that I ever listened to them, it was always it was like this compilation of both releases playing just song 1 through whatever 28 or however many total songs. So I don't know which songs are like from which release.
Right.
So that's just kind of funny that I never really knew that. So then when I listened to the demo I came up on a few years back, it was the first one, I think. And yeah, so it totally threw me off because the songs were obviously in the correct order.
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, like it kind of, it's like, it didn't sound right to me because I was used to like the one I had made. And I was like,
that's funny as shit.
Yeah. So
I don't even,
those songs
I'm trying to think where I got the fucking second tape at. I think I got the first one from Gene, AKA Lord Destroyer.
Mm-hmm.
But then the second one, I think I either got it right from Madman. I kind of think that's what I did when we were recording with him.
Gotcha.
And
he was the singer of RC, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I bought the RC record at Kicks Records.
Which one, though? The one downtown?
Downtown. I bought it because I was like, oh, fuck, there's a 7-inch in Hagerstown. What the fuck are we doing here? So I bought it and took it home. And I didn't throw it like that fucking Slapshot record. That bitch. What was it? Blast Furnace?
Blast Furnace.
That bitch went out the window so quick. I think I almost killed Andy with it.
I think you should tell that story really quick because that's too fucking funny to not tell. I still think about that from time to time. That was one of the funniest fucking days of my life.
So back in the day, we had to drive to get records. Like shit wasn't readily available. You didn't have the internet. This is something I'm trying to teach my kids is we didn't have the fucking luxury of listening to something before you got it. And, so we bust our ass all week, work, get paid, and we go down to either Vinyl Inc. or Yesterday and Today or Smash, somewhere down towards DC, buy shit, and you'd be so amped because you got it and you're coming home with it. And I bought the new Slapshot record, Blast Furnace, and I was like, yes, I'm so excited because the Sudden Death Over Time was really good.
I remember being hyped too. I was like, oh yeah, new Slapshot. This is going to be sick.
And so fucking hour, 15 minutes later, after we buy the records, we get home. I think it's the fucking Do Hooskers trip where we made fun of Phil because he bought this fucking compilation CD of bands doing Husker Du covers and it sucked horribly. And you're like making fun of him, saying how bad the Do Hooskers sucked. And so we were already amped up. So we get home to my apartment. We were above a dentist. And so
I would say this is you when you live with Matt Powell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my sister already moved out. So Powell was there. And we got in and we put the record on. And I think we made it through a song. Like Blast Furnace, not bad, but it was like it sucked, but not that bad. Like I can still listen to that. But then every fucking song after that was so horrible to the point where you're picking the needle up off the record and fucking going through trying to find it. And I was so pissed off. I went out the side door and just chucked the fucking album as far as I could out in the parking lot. And unbeknownst to me, fucking Andy's walking towards us, almost take him out with it. I was so pissed.
Yeah, like
man, I would have taken that. I would have taken that record.
That shit like a fucking frisbee.
It was so fucking mad. And
it shattered.
You kids are lucky.
Yeah.
Fucking
lucky
unbelievable.
You didn't get your fucking head chopped off with a Blast Furnace LCD.
Do you remember coming home with the fucking Integrity, Those Who Fear Tomorrow? Like we listened to it on the way home and we knew it was badass. But we got home and you bought it and I wanted to rip a copy of it onto cassette. Uh-huh. But I kept fucking up the beginning and we'd let it play and I'm like, I missed the beginning. The third fucking time, Pal comes out of nowhere. It's like, motherfucker, just let it play. Because he was listening to it and kept getting all amped up. But every time he get amped up, I cut it and rewind it and try to catch the beginning again. Because I was a weirdo and didn't like Dead Space on the front of my cassettes.
That's funny. I definitely remember that a little bit now that you bring it up, but because I have that CD still because that was kind of when CDs were starting to be a little more prevalent in hardcore and punk music, and like vinyl wasn't around as much at that point.
Yeah, I think it was just the media was dying, sadly.
Yeah. But yeah, no, that classic record still to this day. But yeah, so it's got that cool intro with it's like the spoken. Is that the Charles Manson?
No, it's just was it Misha?
Yeah, but then they say there's like some shit right before that though. There's like maybe a spoken word thing. That's what I thought you were talking about.
Oh no, but it was like I kept missing that, and then you hear the fucking bass line come in.
Yeah,
and it was all heavy, and then all of a sudden. I'd stop it and rewind it and start again. And he went fucking nuts because I wouldn't play the song the whole way through.
Well, yeah, I mean, from what I can remember, you're the first person that sort of like discovered Integrity amongst all of us. And I don't remember even how that would have, like, how did you even find out about that?
Like there's a Cleveland Sampler 7, like them, Face Value, I'm trying to think. I think that's what there was like a Cleveland hardcore. Actually, there was a CD, but I think that was after the fact because Ringworm was on like this Cleveland sampler, and at the very last song was fucking Ringworm doing a cover, and it sounded nothing like Ringworm. It was like one of their punk covers, and like
Maybe
so
the
nobody
Angry Samoan song.
Yeah. And so, like, I had no interest in trying to find them or find their music. And Phil had talked to some guy at a show and was like, no, dude, you got to listen to fucking Ringworm. Not that song. You got to listen to Ringworm. And that was a fucking, I don't think that was the same comp, though. I think that was a different one. I think the Integrity was on a 7.
Gotcha.
It might have been an early Victory one. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I just
Only the
really
Strong.
remember that
there.
Those Who Fear Tomorrow was that to this day that really still stands out to me is that when that record really changed things.
Oh, I agree. Fuck yeah.
And like in a good way. I mean, that's still one of my favorite hardcore records to this day, without a doubt. I mean, that there's so much shit from the 90s that I was into that I can't even stomach listening to now, but that record, I can put that on like any day of the week and still get hyped.
Yeah, it's still really fucking good.
Hell yeah. So do you have anything else you wanted to add as far as band names? We kind of got off topic a little bit, which is fine, but
what like version came from our English Dave and I in English class, and it was one of our vocabulary words.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I didn't know that. That's cool.
That's funny. I mean, did you know at the time that there was another band of Version? No, like they showed up in like a Thrasher or something. Gotcha. And that's where the Version X came from. I mean, it was never supposed to be that way. I mean, that's the course. So the X was like a Wrathchild America scenario. Yeah. Really? I didn't know that. That's actually pretty cool. So you guys were just a Version and then added the X. Huh. Yeah. Yeah, it was. It was like Saw them in fucking Thrasher. And I'm like, and they were like a metal band. Yeah. Yeah. Total metal band. Yeah. So that's why we added the X. Why we were fucking worried that we were ever going to run into them. No idea. But yeah, it's always nice to be original. Huh. Well, that's cool. I learned something today then, because I didn't know any of that. I just assumed it was always the X, like from the beginning. No, that was me getting obsessed, I guess. Dude, well, yeah, we'll have to do a whole nother separate episode just on a Version X as well, because that might have to be a multi-parter as well. Oh my Lord, I don't know, maybe if we maybe just even for my benefit, just because I'm a super fan, so I feel like there's details I probably don't. I mean, I was there when it was going on and stuff, but there's definitely lots of stuff I don't know about. We might need Matt for that because it's all blurry. He does better than I do with half of it. Yeah. Though he says he's just as bad as I am, but we'll see. Two of us ago, we might get a thought. That's funny. Well, that's cool. Well, you want to like wrap this up? And yeah. So yeah, go ahead. No, I didn't have anything. So follow us, I guess, on Instagram at Potty Mouth Records. Yep. And then just message us through there, or pottymouthrecords@gmail.com if you've got questions, comments, concerns, ideas, request. Give us some ideas. Make us not have to think so hard, because it's hard for us to think. Dick pics. I don't want any dick pics. No dick pics, please. Oh shit. All right. We'll catch you guys next time. Yeah. Thanks for listening, and talk to you next time. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
time that somebody teach these varmints a little lesson about morality and about what it's like to be a decent, upstanding member of a society.